All right, guys. So today, what we are going to be talking about, we are in section 6.4, which is analyzing data. So our objective, our goal, by the end of today, I can analyze the differences in shape, center, and spread between two or more data sets. Now, whenever you hear those three words, shape, center, and spread, what that is talking about, just as a refresher, that is talking about socks. Okay, so in example one, it says the Cancer Council surveyed some random people, asking them approximately how many hours they spent in the sun during the previous summer. The frequency histogram for the responses is given. How many people participated in the study? What you have to do if you would like to calculate that is you basically have to look at the frequencies for the entire distribution. So this first bar of people who spent, it looks like 0 hours in the sun. That has a height of 2, meaning that there were 2 people who spent 0 hours in the sun. The next one's at 10 hours in the sun, has a frequency of 3. So basically what you need to go through and do is just write out what the frequencies would be. So list out what the heights, and frequency is on the left here. So for 50, that's all the way up here, it looks like 9, which means this other one would also be at 9. This one's kind of tough at 60. It looks like that one is closest to 7. And then for 80, it looks like that one is closest to 3. So in order to figure out how many people participate in the study, you would have to add all those numbers up. So let's see, 10, 19, 28, 30. It looks like there were 40 people who participated in the study. Now, for B, it says how many people spent 60 or more hours in the sun. So 60 or more would be looking at these three right here. So you would add up just those three numbers frequencies. So you would add up 7 plus 9 plus 3, which ends up being a total of 19 people who spent 60 or more hours in the sun during the summer. It's a lot of time. Now, the last part, it says to describe the shape of this distribution, what would be the best measure of center? If you take a look at it here, it definitely looks like it's going to be tailing off to the left. In other words, it's going to be left skewed. And remember, anytime you have something that's left skewed, the best measure of center is going to be the median. Alrighty. So, example 2 here. It says below there are 3 different data sets. Classify the shape of each as either symmetric, uniform, right skew, or left skew. So for this first one, it looks like it's going down and to the right here. So it looks like that is going to be a right skewed shape. For the next one, this one looks like it is going down and to the left. So that one would be left skewed. Now this last one is kind of tough. You have to look at it almost sideways, to where you look at it and it looks like it's got a peak in the middle and then kind of goes down. It really doesn't look like it's tailing off in either direction. I would say that this one is most closely symmetrical. So again, probably the easiest thing for you to do would be to turn your paper sideways and have your stems right here be kind of the bottom of your distribution, be the bottom of your graph, and kind of look at it sideways, and then you can kind of see the shape that I'm drawn in here for you. Okay, now what it wants you to do is compare the data sets A and B. Which one has the larger median? So definitely for larger median, what you'd have to look at here, wherever the kind of tallest point of the data is going to be where the median is. So this one would have a median somewhere between 10 and 14. This one would have a median somewhere between 15 through 19. So it looks like the second one, data set B, is going to have the larger median. I don't know that these have letters on it. We'll just assume that this first one was data set A, second one was B, and third one was C. Okay, last part here says stem and leaf plots below show the amount of cash carried by a random sample of teenage boys and girls. So first part, it says on average which gender carried more cash. So for boys, it looks like they go everything from $7 up to $73, whereas girls had everything from 11 to 54. So really, it looks like boys carry more cash. If they could carry up to 70 something and girls were only carrying about 50 something, it looks like boys definitely carried more cash here. For part B, it says what was the median amount for the boys. So this is one that we can find by crossing off numbers. You can still list those out if you wanted to, but for me, I would just do that by kind of crossing off each number going from left to right, which you have to be kind of careful with a stem and leaf plot to make sure that you are crossing those out appropriately. Small, big, small, big. Ended up with a couple numbers in the middle. It looks like 42 and 48. So for the boys, we would take 42 plus 48 divided by 2, ends up being 90 over 2, which would be a median of 45. For the girls, in part C, it wants us to find the median for them. So you do the same thing there, crossing off numbers in pairs. And it looks like we don't have to worry about calculating here. We can just look at it and see. It looks like it's going to be 36, which should make sense. It should match up with what we said in part A. It looks like the boys on average were carrying about $45, girls were carrying about 36. Now for D, it says which data sheet or which set of data is more spread out. So boys was everything from 0 to 7, so that would have a range of 7. 7 minus 0 would be 7. For the girls, that would be everything from 1 to 5. So 5 minus 1 would be a range of 4. Boys has a bigger range, so it is more spread out. So you would say that the boys were also more spread out. All right, guys, that's really pretty much it. You should have the rest of class to work on your homework, which should be worksheet number 6.4, which will be over your analyzing data. That will be collected on Thursday. So Thursday, when I see you again, we will collect that at the start of class, take homework quiz, and then we'll get into our last section, which is a sneak preview here. That's going to be all about linear regression. So 6.5, that'll be what we talk about on Thursday's class. Make sure 6.4 is done. If you finish it early and want to leave it with the sub, make sure and do that. Make sure also if you are planning to leave any of your notes with the sub, that you do that as well. That way I can have those for you on Thursday. All right, guys, have a good rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you on Thursday.